Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Rock Bottom Airsoft. It's good to see you again, and if it's your first time here, then as always, it is good to see you, and I hope you're going to stick around. Okay, well, welcome back to our normal regular studio video here at the weekend. Say this every time, but those of you who follow the channel already will know that we normally look to upload 2 videos a week. I normally upload a video on midweek on a Wednesday. That's normally gameplay related or testing items in the field during gameplay. And then at the weekend, just like now, we'll normally do a studio video looking at all sorts of things Airsoft related. And today is no different, so we're going to get straight into the video. Now, I'm a little bit excited. I'm doing an unboxing today. This item, I'm hoping to split it up over a couple of videos. It might end up being free, depends what you guys want. Let me know in the comments. What we're going to be looking at is this. It's new to me. It's not something I'd previously encountered. However, this is the Eshooter Kestrel V2 wireless electronic trigger unit. Bit of a mouthful, but that's what it is. So what it basically is an optical trigger. It's an optical electronic trigger unit. It replaces your current trigger unit for optical sensors, and it also has a Mosfet built in, so it'll accomplish the functions that you would want from a Mosfet normally. But the Mosfet, as I've mentioned in videos previously before, is just a very, very small part of what an item like this is capable of. The Mosfet is well worth having. A Mosfet's worth having in any AEG replica. It basically protects trigger contacts, loads of other reasons it's good. I've gone into that a few times for you guys. However, this has a lot more functions than that. So what I think we're going to do is, as mentioned about the videos, I'm going to look to unbox it today and give you a little bit of an introduction to what it is and some links to where you can get it. And then you've got the option, guys. I can do a shooting video with it after I've installed it in one of my replicas. Or alternatively, I can do a follow-up video and a review after I've used it in the field and let you know how I find it in the field. Or I can do both, which I'll probably do, to be honest, guys. We'll do a studio video, get a few bits of chrono reading, show you some of the programming modes and how you set it up. So let's get into what we've got here. And a little bit of background on this, guys. Full disclosure, I did not buy this. If I buy a product, I'll normally tell you I bought it and how much I paid for it. However, the guys at Eshooter reached out to me and asked if I'd be happy to have a look at a sample of their product, which I said, yeah, I'll have a look at it. And genuinely, guys, I'm quite excited because I'm hoping that it is good. If it isn't good, then I will tell you. Doesn't make any difference to me. If it's not good, then obviously I'm not going to say it's good if it's not. So I'm looking at this with fresh eyes. As many of you know, I don't usually tend to use optical Mosfets. If you've met me in the field, I'm not usually a big fan. I tend to use basic Mosfets, don't tend to use all the functions that are available on these. However, I'm hoping that this is really good, and I'm hoping it gives us Airsoft players a genuine alternative to the usual candidates. And you'll know who I mean by that. There are many Mosfet manufacturers out there. One of my favourite Mosfet manufacturers is Gate. Many of you will know as I use a lot of Gate products. I use Perun products as well, and I have encountered the Leviathans as well. However, I hadn't personally heard of this company before. I don't know if you guys are in the same boat. I think they're relatively new. I chat with one of the guys there. They said that they're new to the Mosfet market. They're just moving into it. So I'm hoping that it's really good. And if it's really good, I'll let you guys know it's very affordable. If you were looking for one of these, they currently only retail them, as far as I can tell, on their own website. I struggled to find a supplier here in the UK for these, and also the same in the US. But on their website, you can order directly from them. They sent this out to me here in the UK, and it did arrive very quickly, guys. I received this within about a week after they said they were sending it. I think they're based in Shenzhen in China, and it came to me in about a week, so the delivery was very fast. So yeah, you can order directly from them guys. I will put a link in the description to their website if you want to check out the details on there and have a look. But when I last checked, they were retailing these on their own website at $99, which I'm sure you can agree for an optical based trigger unit with built-in Mosfet, that's very affordable compared to some of the competitors. Okay, so I mean, let's have a look at the box first of all on what you get. Now, the packaging to me is very professional looking. It comes well packaged, nice box. You basically on the front here got Eshooter, the manufacturer, Kestrel version 2 wireless electronic trigger unit. So, you know, that's great. It's got the details, what the product is, got a little picture here of the wireless electronic trigger unit. It also mentions here about the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store because there is an app for this. It is app compatible, which we'll get to in a minute when I start going through some of the details. On the sides, you've got QR codes on either side. Now, I believe that there is a QR code to get the detailed instructions for installation and setup of this device. On the bottom of the package, you just get the Kestrel brand name. And on the back, you get a few details about the spec and about what it can do, which we are going to go through anyway. It also gives you the links to the socials and the website. You can find Eshooter on Instagram. They are on there, and they're also on Facebook. I did find a few videos as well that other guys have had a look at these. So like I said, this got sent to me, so I'm taking a look at this completely fresh. I personally, as I say, no offense to the guys at Eshooter, but it's not a company I'd encountered before. So let's hope for some big things. Okay, so let's have a look what you actually get in the package. I've never opened this before. This has been sat up in my command center, as we call it, where it's been sitting longingly waiting for me to open it. Now inside it appears that we have another box that there's a little tab here that you pull out. So that box is now empty, nothing left in there. Again, looks really well packaged. Okay, now we've got a small instruction manual here. I'm going to guess that this may be detailed instructions on installation. Let's see what it says. Okay, yeah, so basically, guys, there's instructions there. You've got your contents page, gives you your specifications, tells you some of the details of what should be in the package. Just on here, gives you some dimensions, some caution lists, preparation for installation, a few pictures there showing you how to install it. That's a very clean gearbox that they've installed that in. Basically they're just advising you about not having the wires in the way of the motor, because any of you guys that do a bit of your own teching will know that if you don't get your wires sat right in a version 2 gearbox, you're going to chew them wires up with the pinion gear on your motor. There's also details here on how to bend over the multi-tabs so you can plug your motor in correctly. Details here about the tappet plate that you should be using. How to do it right, how to do it wrong. Looks like we're going to have to stick some stickers on, which if any of you guys have encountered optical trigger units before, they work off light, so you have little stickers that reflect the light back. It's supposed to give you a really sensitive trigger pull. You can adjust it and all that good stuff that you guys might be wanting. And then some more installation instructions here, and continued on the reverse. So you do get quite detailed instructions. Now, I've got to say, guys, I don't know what you think, but it's a nice glossy instruction manual. It seems very thorough. I will try and use these instructions when I carry out the installation. I know there was mention on the website of QR codes, which we also have a number of QR codes here, which give you more details for installation and about the product itself. So there's a quick run through the instruction manual. Again, all looking very professional, very well laid out, very nice. I'm impressed with that. So we'll pop that to one side. Here we have our selector plate stickers, and it looks like we have stickers there. I'm going to take a wild guess, because obviously, guys, I haven't gone into installing this yet, but I'm going to take a guess and think that that's a template for checking that it is going to line up and fit correctly in your gearbox. There may also be some room there that you have to modify your gearbox slightly. But again, after I've installed it and done installation and we do a follow-up on this, I will give you a rundown on basically what the installation entails, how easy or how difficult it is, and then we'll maybe go through the setup together when we connect it to the app, or either way I'll go through the app setup details so that you know what to expect. So there you go, guys, that's the stickers that they supply you with for installation. And then obviously we've got the main event here. Looks like we've got a small box in the middle which says installation kit on it. Let's have a look what's in this small box. I've got a funny feeling this will be a number of maybe some screws, maybe some washers. We'll have a look. Okay, let's have a look here. Managed to get in this box now. Yep, so there we've got a mounting set with some 0.2mm shims. It looks like the main part, this box is empty now. It looks like the main parts that we have included in here is various shims for mounting it. Now I'm going to guess that that's something to do with getting the height correct in your particular gearbox. You've got 0.5mm, 0.3mm and 0.2mm shims included as part of your installation. All nicely labelled, again, individual baggies. Now to me, guys, that's really professional. Again, looks really nice. Looks like a really well made piece of kit so far. So I'm quite impressed with that. You also get a connector set. Looks like in there we have some heat shrinks and a T-plug, a Dean's connector, and as I suspected, we got some little screws in there as well, guys. I hope you can make that out on camera. So we've got some little screws, a Dean's connector, some bits of heat shrink tubing, and what looks like a little piece of sticky back Velcro. But I could be wrong on that one. As I say, well, I'll get more into that when I start my installation. So let's leave that out there so you can see what we've got. So that was in that little box there. And then I think that the only bit that's left, guys, is the actual product itself. Now let's have a look. We don't want to break any wires off here, so let's be careful taking this out. It's well packaged. If you look at that, guys, it's properly wrapped in foam, in properly made foam. Just check there's nothing underneath that foam. Nope, there's nothing under there. So yeah, you know, it's again well laid out in there. It's a proper job, packaging wise, you know. Now it looks like here our motor tabs are pre-crimped and soldered. So you've got your motor tabs, your positive and your negative attached to the board, which is great. It's silicone wire, I believe, as well that they've used on here. Could be Teflon. Inline fuse there, guys. Nice blade fuse, decent quality fuse. And the actual board itself, which again, I'm just having a closer look myself, guys, but the solder joints look nice. I can't see any dry looking solder joints there. The PCB is black. Again, it all looks well put together. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, overall for an unbox there, I would say that that looks like a well put together part. Comes with a T connector as standard, which looks like a decent T connector. The wiring looks good quality. Yeah, I would say that as an unboxing goes, I'm quite impressed with everything you get in there and how it's all put in order for you. So what will be the advantages of fitting one of these? Well, for your $99 if you do buy one, it basically means you get an app controlled optical trigger. What I mean by app controlled is it works via Bluetooth. You download the app to your phone, whether it's Android or Apple, and then that basically means that you can program the optical trigger unit and Mosfet without having to open the gearbox, without having to do anything. The gun can be all completely together, and all you have to do is link via Bluetooth to the optical trigger unit, and you can change loads of functions through the app. Some of the functions that it comes with, it's advertised as having an adjustable trigger, so you can adjust the sensitivity of your trigger, which any of you guys that have encountered optical Mosfets before will know that the adjustments are quite fine on those. You can also do pre-cocking, so it'll basically hold the piston back before you fire. It's supposed to allow more realism, because when you pull the trigger, it only has to go forward, so it holds that piston back for you. You've got rate of fire control, so you can increase the rate of fire, lower or higher, depending on whether you're going for realism, and depending on how high the rate of fire is on your replica, or sometimes it can help with double feeding. You've also got active brake, which certainly stops double feeding. Many of you already know that active brake just basically stops the motor after a cycle, so you don't get any overspin. You can do over-the-air updates, so if they ever upgrade the software, you can update the firmware on this device via the app, via Bluetooth. You don't have to open the device, you don't have to plug anything into it, you don't have to do anything to your replica. It can all stay in one piece, and you can upgrade the firmware on there over the air, which is a good thing. It also comes with, as you'd expect with any Mosfet these days, you get battery protection and overcurrent, over voltage protection. It'll also give you low voltage warnings for if your LiPo voltage is getting too low. It'll warn you before you damage your LiPo beyond repair and can't recover it. As well as that, it also has cycle detection, which a lot of these optical based electronic trigger units have. What it means by that, it can detect the position of your sector gear. It knows exactly where it is, so it knows, you know, if you've done one cycle, and that's part of the base of how they work. But it can be set up to work with a DSG. It can work with a 9:1 DSG sector gear. It can also work with a 13:1 single sector gear, so a high speed gear set. So if you've got 13:1 in there, it will work with that. And finally, it'll work with what we'd normally call a standard gear set, which is normally 18:1. This was specifically designed for Tokyo Marui version 2 gearboxes. So if you have a version 2 gearbox which is TM compatible, then it should fit. Most version 2 gearboxes are TM compatible. Some have slight differences, guys, so be aware of that. If there's a slight difference in it, then that may lead to you needing to do some slight modification as well. So going on the features again, it comes with real mag mode, which I believe means that it'll do 30 rounds and then you have to drop the mag, replace the mag, and then it'll let you fire again. So it makes it a bit more realistic if you're doing milsim or that type of thing. It also has sniper delay, so if you're deciding to build your version 2 gearbox as DMR, then it will give a bit of a delay between allowing you to fire shots. Not something I would use myself, but you know, the feature's there if you need it. It also has fire selector programming, which a lot of Mosfets do these days, but I was looking through the features on this and it's got a lot of features for fire selection control. You've got your normal ones on there, you know, like burst fire and that type of thing, but it also allows you to do binary trigger, which a lot of Mosfets do. The Perrin on my ARP9 does allow that, and binary trigger is pretty cool. You guys, you know, binary trigger, you pull the trigger, one shot goes off. When you release the trigger, another shot goes off, so you get really fast semi-auto fire. But as well as that, this has something called AUG mode. So if any of you know the Steyr AUG, it's got a 2-stage trigger. The first stage is semi, but if you squeeze the trigger further, it goes to full auto. This will allow you to program that onto your AR. So a slight trigger pull will give you a single shot, but if you pull it all the way, it'll go into full auto without you touching the selector switch. Now, whether that's something you guys would like, I don't know, but it's quite a funky feature, I thought, on there. Yeah, so I mean, programming wise on the selector, pretty much everything you can think of. And again, when I've installed this in a replica, we'll go through some of those features on the app and see how they work in a replica. And then finally, the last couple things to look at there is that it can take up to a 17 volt input. Now 17 volts from a battery on average is going to be much higher than anything us guys are going to use in Airsoft. I've heard of people using 14.8 volt batteries on their Airsoft replicas when they're running really high end, really high speed builds. I've never really heard of anybody going higher than that. The vast majority of us won't go any higher than 11.1 volt batteries. I certainly don't, and it's very rare in my case that I use 11.1. I tend to stick to 7.4 these days, but I do use 11.1 in some cases. So all that leaves me to say, guys, is that's the Kestrel version 2 unboxed. There's some of the features you get with it. My impressions so far, as I say, if I thought it was bad, I would tell you guys, but if that's how it comes when you buy it, that looks really well laid out to me, guys. Really well packaged, all protected in foam, everything individually labelled, everything that should be in there is in there. A nice glossy instruction manual. All looks well presented to me, guys. So that's what you get in the box if you get one. I am going to look to install it, not on a Tokyo Marui, so we might have some mods to do. I'm going to do it on the trusty Vulcan Alloy series, a replica that has become one of my test benches for trying out new things. You guys will have encountered this before. This replica is absolutely standard, apart from it's had a reshim and a re-grease. The warhead motor that I tried in it has been removed. It's not got that in there anymore. It's just back onto a standard motor, the one that came with it. And it doesn't currently have a Mosfet. It does have an electronic trigger unit, but it's just micro switches. There's no Mosfet on there, which is why it's going to be the guinea pig for this optical trigger unit. Now I'm hoping, guys, that it works really well. And like I say, I will let you know in the next video that we cover on this particular item how I got on, how fitting was, and we'll have a shoot with it and we'll see how it does. So there you go, guys. That's an unboxing and a bit of an overview of the Kestrel V2 from Eshooter. As I say, I'll leave links in the description to where you can get a bit more information and where you can order one of these yourself. I have no idea how it's going to perform. Hadn't heard of them before, but I'm going to try it out and see how it gets on, and hopefully it'll do all right for us. So I really hope you enjoyed that video, guys. If you did enjoy the video, then do please drop a like on there. I've got loads more stuff to unbox and loads more new videos coming up that I've got planned out. I've got the usual gameplays on the midweek videos on the Wednesday. So if that does sound like your cup of tea and you're not subscribed already, then do please get subscribed to the channel. And I will look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Thanks very much for watching.